Hello, my name is Heather Wyland, and I want to go over the videos that I am sharing that are showing the different things that I do as a literacy specialist in our district at Merton. So I want to give a little background for the videos 1 and 2 that I have for you. Um, First of all, in observations of teachers and taking a look at just our data, it was showing us that we needed to make some changes in our common curriculum and the general curriculum that we were doing. So when looking at some of the different parts of balanced literacy, one of the areas we decided to look at was the read aloud. So through the observations of being classrooms and walkthroughs, it became apparent that many of the teachers were not actually taking the time to plan the read aloud. They were just doing the read aloud sort of on the spot. Um, Part of that became apparent just because it was noticed that there really wasn't a particular focus as they were doing the read aloud. A lot of the questions they were asked were basic comprehension questions that just seemed to go right with the story that was as they were reading. The other thing that was happening is read alouds were very, very long. We want them to be 12 to 15 minutes long, and I was observing many of them were 20 to 30 minutes. These observations, a lot were done by me, some were done by the principal at our school. So when it was determined that we were going to do some professional development in the air and coaching in the area of the read aloud, I met with each team individually and asked them what they would prefer. I offered them a half-day lab where we would do, where I would go over the read aloud with them, and then we would plan one together, and then we'd go into a classroom and they would do that read aloud, and then we'd come back and reflect on it. So that was plan A. The other plan was for me to create a situation where they could watch the video. They would still need to plan a read aloud, but they could either have help from me or not if they felt they could do it on their own. But then they would have me come in and observe. I would observe them doing their read aloud, and again, we'd reflect on it. The teachers had expressed to me that they did not want to be out of their classrooms at the time, that there had been a lot of things pulling them out of their classrooms, and with just conferences, the end of the trimester coming and stuff, they felt that they liked option 2. Actually, each team wanted to do option 2, and I would have broken it up differently and done a half-day lab for one of the teams that they wanted, but actually they all, teams 5-8, had decided that they liked the idea of me creating a kind of class for them to do it. So I created a plan for that and made a video that they would watch on their own time. Created a template for them to use to plan their read aloud and put that in their read aloud in there. I offered that I would model one for them if they wanted and felt they would benefit from that. And then they would all need to be observed with them with the planning of the read aloud they did, and then we would meet to reflect on how things went. So I use Google Classroom, and each team has a Google Classroom, and I created that for them and posted it on Classroom and put the video, the read aloud planning guide. Then I also, with the video, just gave them the slides so that if they wanted to go back and refer to the slides in the presentation, they could. And then I also gave them an example of the read aloud. So there's, you can separately watch the video in a moment, but here's the video that I created for them. And then here's the planning guide that I did where they tell me the title, pages they're reading, what's the focus going to be. They're going to have a chart that they're going to do. Stopping points, we talk about basically having 2 or 3 stopping points, plus setting up kids ahead of time and at the end. So the expectation was they would fill this out for their read aloud. I also gave them an example using those shoes. All our staff is familiar with the book Those Shoes. So I planned this out so that they could see what it would look like when you planned it, and said that I'd be happy to come in and model that for them. Some teachers have asked for me to model, some have not. And then So that was what the plan is. So I created that combination, and teachers have been signing up on my schedule too, because I have a schedule. Teachers can simply sign up and tell me what they want to do. So I am sharing with you the video that I did. That's the professional development they watched. And then I also videoed me planning with two of the sixth grade teachers who I coached through planning a read aloud. And when you watch that one, some of the tools that we used for that, the expectation is they came to that meeting for the planning after they watched the read aloud. And we used, besides the planning guide, we used the bands of text complexity that we use in our district, using the Fountas and Pinnell levels. We have created, there's a document that we've created for the different bands of text of what they have, so that when we're looking for kids to be moving up levels and where they need to be in the work that we need to do, we can use this to determine what kinds of things we should focus on. And then the other thing we have created is charts, because we find that if kids have a specific chart that they're using when they're jotting, and we use this during Read Aloud, we use this in our mini lessons as well, but we can use these different charts, and these again are made by text complexity. So when we know we've got kids in a certain band, we can look through and see which one fits. So when you see me referring to some of the things in the video, I'm looking at this bands of text complexity, and I'm looking at the conference charts. I also have them linked on the document so that you can see all this information as well. So that sets you up for the two videos that you are going to see. I believe the first video with the read aloud might go over a little bit with 15 minutes. The second video with me coaching, I made sure that I already shortened it for you so that you would be seeing the coaching of the planning. So when you're watching me coaching the two teachers and working with them, I'm at the beginning part. The part you don't see is us finishing up and filling in the chart, but you'll see kind of the conversation we had leading up to what what the focus was going to be for the read aloud, what they were going to read, how they were going to divide up the book. We also talked about what chart they were going to use, and I was just starting to talk about what we were going to do before they were reading. And for them, since this is something that the kids have not, we're just beginning the story, we don't need the part here. And that I think in the video say, we have to take that part out. So I hope you enjoy the videos.